he said the same thing. He's like, don't listen to anyone tell you no. If you believe it and you have a passion in it, there's probably someone else somewhere in the world who's going to believe it and have a passion in it as well. Keep going. You'll probably gravitate some way towards each other and the journey will change.
Hello, beautiful people. My name is Koi. I am a cisgendered black woman in her 20s, and I'm in a recording studio with a special guest. I'm a presenter and producer, and today I am hosting Creativity Is. But of course, I am not alone. Joining me today is an incredible talent who has worked in British TV for over 23 years. Introducing Nigel Clarke.
Hey, thanks for having me. My name's Nigel Clarke. I'm a black male with dreadlocks, and I'm a quite energetic soul. So I move around a lot. I'm quite funky, let's say.
Well, I can't wait to experience some of this funk.
We're going to get funky right now.
I'm so ready. But let's jump into the very first creative prompt.
Okay.
Now that we've introduced ourselves to the world,
Yep.
Are you ready for the second part of the show?
Yeah, let's do
All right,
this.
then. Let's jump into the creative prompt, which is in this golden envelope.
Ooh.
I love this. Okay, cool. So I'm going to open it up and read the challenge. Oh, and it's got 2 bits. Okay, so this has been sent in by Zara Verapan Padiachi, and we are going to write a short list of our hobbies and interests.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I love that.
I can do that.
But I need
can
some
do that.
help from our invisible production hands. Ooh.
Oh, thank you very
I love
much.
that.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. We are being handed a piece of paper to write down our hobbies and interests, and I need 1 minute on the timer.
I've gone in and got a pen already.
Oh, okay. You're not playing around.
I'm not messing around.
Okay.
Here. Okay, so hobbies and interests,
Yes,
yeah?
a list.
A list.
Okay.
All right.
Gosh, let's see who
Right.
has more. Okay. 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 Yeah. Okay. Got some. Okay. Oh my gosh, I have so many.
I've tried to hone mine down as I've got older, I
Why?
think. Because there's not enough time to do everything.
Fair.
So
Fair.
you got to concentrate on the stuff that really is enhancing, or maybe, you know.
I'm trying everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I was young, I was trying every single
Okay.
thing. But now, a bit older, and it's like, yo, let me just focus on these ones right now.
I think we've got 3 seconds left.
3 seconds left.
Oh
I'm
gosh,
good.
I froze. I
good.
froze.
I'm
But I
good
think
with
how many
these.
things do you have on your list?
I got 4.
Okay, I have 9.
Nice.
I don't know why it took me so long to count. Counting wasn't one of them. So let's show the world what our interests are. Okay, could you talk me through them?
Yeah, so number 1 on my list, I've got music. Next on the list, I have food, then social media, and the 4th one on my list is film. And I was about to put the 5th one down. It might have been TV shows or Netflix or something like that, but didn't quite get time.
Okay, that's so. Did you put the numbers down before you put the words? Did you just know you had 5 interests, or?
I just started making a list. And when I make a list, it's probably always going to have a number or a bullet point there. So
Okay.
I went for numbers this time round.
I love that. Okay, so I didn't even put any. There's very little structure to mine, but I have 9 interests, and that starts with fashion, TV series, pottery, shopping, music, novels, beauty, skincare, and dancing.
Nice.
Yes, I'm
Nice.
still
I
figuring
like
myself
it.
out. Yeah.
Pottery.
Yes.
Have you tried pottery?
Okay, an interest is something you're looking forward to doing as well, right? I've signed up for the class.
Okay, you've signed
so
up.
I've actually signed up for the class.
I'll let you off because you're signed up.
Okay.
If you hadn't signed up, I
Okay.
don't know if that would have been counted.
It's so harsh in this world to find new interests. But yeah, I think pottery is definitely something that I just feel like looks really fun and hard.
Right. Look, speaking of social media that I've got on my list, I saw some pottery posts recently that they just popped up on my feed because I think art stuff is being thrown at me. And there are people that do these mini pottery things. So they've got a pottery wheel, but it's like this big.
Yeah.
And then they're like doing mini pottery on these wheels. Incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. So yeah, I'm feeling your pottery
I could do
there.
one better.
Go on.
actually. And it's not something I've ever done yet, but they make like tiny little kitchens out of Legos. And then they show you cooking with tiny Legos, but it's meant to be like sausages or whatever. And they've made it into animations. And I'm just like, wow, there's so much talent in this world.
I've seen exactly what you're talking about. It's amazing.
It really is. I should have added social media to mine as well. So anyway.
I find that I do a lot of learning on social media now.
Tons.
I do a lot of learning. Before, it was a little bit like, this is like a waste of... Now, I do quite a bit of learning on social media.
It's down to who you follow.
It's down to what you like and how you train the algorithm to show you things.
You can train the algorithm.
You can train the algorithm.
Oh, I love this. I'm learning so much already. My algorithm is thoroughly untrained. All right, well, let's jump into part 2 of our creative prompt. Okay.
Oh, exciting.
All right, then take a deep breath. Look at the list. Find 2 things that seem opposite and all unrelated. Draw 2 circles that overlap. And put interest number 1 in circle 1 and interest number 2 in circle 2. And then what can you create that makes these 2 interests together? I get that. Do you get that?
Yeah. So I've got to find stuff that's opposite, find stuff that is maybe overlapping, then take number 1 and number 2 and think of something for both of those.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay, this feels very opposite.
Okay, and then I've got to figure out something for these, for idea number 1 and idea number 2. 10 seconds left.
Oh
okay.
My gosh.
I think, I'll figure that out when we get to it. All right.
He's going to win it. True creativity at work here. All right, well, let's show the world what we're doing and let's describe it also.
Okay. Yeah. So the challenge, right? Yeah. The challenge, as I understood it, I might be totally wrong, was to first pick 2 that are opposite.
Okay.
These 2.
Yeah.
Social media and film. I picked my overlaps as music and film. Because music and film, music's very, it's a big part of film. Okay. They take you on a mood, it's a big part of film. So music and film. And then the third thing, to pick my first answer and my second answer, music and food, and then think of something for them.
Yeah, talk me through that. Yeah, so go ahead. You creatively understood the problem, and I love that.
Thank you very much. I mean, I created my own challenge there. It may be. Who knows? Who knows? Right? So now thinking of music and food and how I'd tie them in. I think we've all had songs that have been rapped about food.
Yeah.
But have we ever had recipes done through rap? Like Jamie Oliver talks to you and does it. Gordon Ramsay. Have we ever had like a rapper or a singer do the recipes that way?
Do you mean rap recipes?
Rap recipes, baby.
Oh, I'm in this.
Right?
I'm
rap
sold.
Recipes. Now, and they probably go down really well on social media.
Yes. Especially if you can't cook or you just find it very bothersome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you just create something.
We just created something.
We just created something right
Business
here,
partners.
Right now. Well, mine is like now significantly less interesting than yours.
No, it's not. No, it's not. We're going to find the interest right now.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you. I love that. Great. Okay, so I felt like the 2 interests that were quite different was fashion and TV series.
Okay.
The reason... Let me go with my backup answer, actually. It was pottery and skincare. I feel like they feel very different.
I
feel like they feel very different, yeah. I feel like these are kind of cousins. These are strangers on a train.
Yeah.
So I was like, what is the overlap? Because that was my uncreative way of understanding the problem. And so I thought maybe making tiny little jars for my favorite skincare.
Boom.
And put in 1, 2, 3 on them so they're in order. And that way I don't confuse my structure.
I am down with it. I'm down with it. You did really well. Really, really well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That I can see a whole business. We make the pottery for your
skincare. Save the planet.
We use special clay that is really doesn't affect the product. It's sustainable. Yeah, I'm down.
Oh my! Is this Shark Tank? No, it's not. It's creativity is. So, but thank you so much. That was
nice
my favorite round.
It made you think, doesn't it?
It did make you think, which is a lot like the January challenge, which we're gonna jump into.
Okay.
After we change our setup a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. So you have shown us that you're creative, but also I want you to talk about your creative journey as well. You've done so much. Let me remind you of your CV.
What have I done?
So you're a presenter. You also do dance. You've also been in the music industry a little bit as well.
Yeah, I had a band. Yeah, I did.
You had a band. Okay, I love this because it just feels like you're someone who has a vision and you just go.
Yeah.
Where do you get that confidence to do so?
I think I was really lucky as a youngster to be given the opportunity to just pursue whatever you wanted to pursue. I think it's really important that young people get to do that, because a lot of the time people will tell you, oh no, you can't do this or you can't do that. I don't believe that. I really don't. I think if you apply yourself and put the time and effort in, you can really do anything you want. Yeah.
I feel inspired. And let's talk about some of the things you've done. So you've presented on CBeebies, Disney Channel. You've been on Nickelodeon.
I have actually, and this is like, I'm proud of this one. I've presented on every kids channel in the UK.
Oh, that's a round of applause.
So
that's a round of applause.
Yeah, so I've done like the BBC, the ITV,
yes,
like the Channel 4. I've done the Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah, I've like Disney. I've done all the kids channels.
And was that like a goal you set out to do?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a goal I set out to do. Literally, TV presenting was something that I fell into.
Okay.
I was at Performing Arts College, and we were in our second year and we were starting to do auditions. So they said, look, you can go out and start doing auditions, because a lot of you are not going to get any of the jobs because you're not going to be comfortable in the auditions. You're not going to show your best side. You're new to this industry. It's going to be tough. You need to get to a point where you are going to be comfortable in auditions. So they said, go out and start getting an experience of doing auditions. I auditioned for a show called Stomp. I auditioned for a TV series. Literally got both of them.
Yes, I know you were part of the original cast for Stomp, right?
Yeah, one of the early casts of Stomp that I was, an original London cast when the show started in London, probably about 10, 12 years ago. So yeah, so
you're obviously incredibly talented. But can I ask you a question?
Go on.
What would you have done if you received a no?
That kind of drives me to find out why it's a no, first off, and then research whether that can be that no can turn to a yes.
So it doesn't scare you off?
No.
Fantastic.
It doesn't scare me off, no.
Fantastic. Okay, so you have tons of ways in which you express your creativity.
Yeah.
And like you said, you kind of fell into it. You just try things. You think you can do anything.
Yeah.
But there must be moments where you are nervous.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that, to be fair.
Yeah, no.
But
it doesn't negate nerves.
Okay.
Just because you're trying something new, sometimes that's going to be a nerve-wracking thing. But like I said, with anything we've ever done, we've probably been nervous at the start. We don't know how to do something. Just take something that like most people do. You learn to drive a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you first start learning to drive a car, that's a nerve-wracking thing. Reverse parking when you first start.
Hate it.
Right? Radio off. Like, concentrate. Let's see what's going on. It's a nerve-wracking thing. Am I going to ding the corner of my car? Cut to, a couple years later, you've been driving for a little while now. Reverse park. Yeah, hold on. Let me...
Yeah.
In it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah? So the more we do things, the more we try things, the more we learn, the nerves start to go and we get to a place where we feel more comfortable. And I think that's with anything we do in life.
That is the perfect way to introduce the January challenge. Because that is 31 days of free, fun and accessible creative prompts that are available to everyone. And they're brought to you by brilliant people all across the UK. Do you know about the January challenge? Okay, tell me what you think about the January challenge.
I think it's amazing. I think it's really accessible for people. And I'm assuming that's why it's done the way it is. Because it just allows people to get into whatever might interest them, because you've got 31 challenges and, you know, one could be down an art route with paints and things like that, and another one could be down a music route.
Yeah.
Because you've got so many different subjects or topics, if you want to call them, or categories, it gives people who are getting involved the chance to do something that resonates with them. So that in itself, for me, is great, because it means you're being inclusive to everyone.
Yeah. Well, will you be setting a creative prompt this January?
I am actually going to be setting a creative prompt in January.
I was going to sign up anyway, but I'm definitely signing up now. Yes, tell us a little bit about it. Tease it. Don't spoil the surprise.
Okay, so because I do a lot of work with parents and families, and I started something called Dadvengers, we're using that platform to set a challenge for families and specifically for dads and men to get involved with, because often it's a little bit more difficult to get men involved in creative activities. But we think we've got one that will raise a bit of competitiveness, because men like a bit of competition. They like a bit of a challenge. They like a bit of a, I can do this better than you. It's really easy to do with your kids as well. And it's super, it just creates fun.
Okay.
It creates fun as well. It creates fun as well. So with those three things going on, I think people are going to like our challenge.
See, I love that. I really do. I wanted to focus in on that because you are the founder of Dadvengers.
Yeah.
And I really want to jump into that because I just love even what's behind it. I think one of the pillars you have is challenging babysitting mentality.
Yeah,
this idea
totally.
That yes, tell us a bit about that.
So yeah, Dadvengers, I started off the back of doing a TV show called The Baby Club.
Yeah.
So we did an all dads episode of that show, and the response that we got from people working on it, people on set, people who watched it was like, this is amazing. Oh, this is great. This is fantastic. And even though that's a great reaction because you're seeing 6 dads sitting with their kids, telling them a story, doing all the different bits and bobs. Even though that's a great reaction, I didn't think we should have such shock at that. It should be something that's normal. It should be something that we're used to seeing. We don't have that reaction when we see women with their children. We'd be like, oh, it's lovely, right? But we then go, oh, that's amazing. She's looking after her kid. It shouldn't be that way for men. So I did a little bit of research to see what was out there and where men could go to classes and things. And there wasn't much out there. And what I did see that was out there, I didn't think the tone was quite right. So I decided to do something about it. And then Dadvengers was born. It was only going to be a podcast at first where I talked to different dads about their journeys and things like that. The pandemic hit and we couldn't do the podcast. So I started doing a bit of research into what people might want to find. And my research was very much on social media. I'd do an Instagram live and just ask people questions about what would you like to see. That grew into a weekly Instagram live where we were doing parenting chats. That turned into meetups once we were allowed to get back into the world. The podcast then got made, website got made, and it just kept growing until where we are now and where we've just launched a course for expectant and new fathers to help them on their kind of parenting journey as well. So it's kind of grown and grown from that small idea.
That's amazing. And that's what I love as well, that an idea can be so impactful if you kind of just follow it through.
Hopefully. And we're making impact, but we're nowhere near the impact we want to finally make. I mean, one day I want it to be a bit like parkrun. So you know that in your local park, wherever you are in the UK, you know there are going to be some dads meeting up with their kids to just hang out for an hour or two, go to the playground. Cool. They've got other people they can talk to, bounce things off. They create a little WhatsApp group and a community, and it's just supportive for them. Because I don't think there's been that for men ever.
Yeah.
I don't think. Because the way parenting was done by our parents and previous generations was different. So there was that whole stereotypical man goes to work, woman's at home with children. That's not the way we're living now. It's totally different now. Now men are wanting to stay at home with their kids. Women are wanting to work. Both parents are going to work. It's a totally different landscape. So men kind of haven't been modelled with the way that they're going to need to behave now.
Yeah.
In this new sort of landscape. So we kind of need to get together and figure it out.
You mentioned that men don't as easily engage with creative prompts or just, kind of challenges like that. And you said when you did your research, you felt like there was nothing of the right tone. What would your advice be when people want to communicate to men and fathers, like effectively and get them engaged?
That's a really, really great question. And we're always trying to kind of play with that to see the best way. Because I don't think anyone knows the best way yet. But for me, it's really strange. You kind of got to go around the houses a little bit. If you want to do something that's or get them involved in an event that's about helping them, don't talk about helping them.
Oh, really?
No.
Why is that?
Because they think they don't need help.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Men, and I'm generalizing here. This is broad strokes.
No, but this is fantastic to hear. Let's learn. Yeah.
Men will be the first to tell, because they've been taught from children that, like, no, you've got to kind of deal with that problem yourself. You've got to figure it out. You're the patriarch. You're going to one day be the patriarch. Everyone's going to be relying on you, so you've got to be able to figure it out. So when you say to a man, okay, right, there's something that can help you, they're automatically going to go, no, I don't need the help. I'll figure this out myself. I'm going to be the person that I've been, like, groomed to be, as it were.
Or that's a failure.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Otherwise, if I don't.
So much pressure.
Yeah. Whereas now we're realizing that, hold on, everyone needs help. Doesn't matter who you are, how. I need help. You know, everyone needs help. It doesn't make you a failure. It makes you someone that's not afraid to bring the village on board, or whatever you want to call it, or bring your team to help you get to a better place.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at it, and this has just popped into my head because I'm watching something on TV. Michael Jordan, for me, some people are going to be like Kobe. Look, Michael Jordan, greatest ever basketball player we've ever seen on the planet.
So
He won.
Not LeBron?
Okay,
just putting it out there. Just putting it out there.
They're Kobe, LeBron are all great. This is a different time and a different place. Okay, so he greatest player, but you know why he's the greatest player? Because he had the greatest team.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Phil Jackson, his coach. All of that went into making him. So your LeBrons and your Kobes, they haven't got that team. They're individually up there with Mike, but it takes, like, more than one person to get to the levels that I'm talking about. Everyone needs help.
Wow, I don't know. I feel so moved by that. Thank you for taking the time to share that. And collaboration is something I think you do really, really well. I wanted to talk specifically about, I think, an animation that you worked with. I just want to get the name right. The Fell We Climb.
Wow, you know about The Fell We Climb. You've done your research. That's
so
very
just
new.
a little something.
Wait, hold on, because this is still quite new.
Yeah.
It's still really, really new, because the public, a few people in the public have seen it, but over the next couple of years, hopefully it's going to be used in schools. Yeah. That's what we want. It's starting to get recognised now because we put it into a load of film festivals, short film festivals, and it's starting to get a lot of recognition. We've just been entered into an Oscar qualifier, so we're like, fingers crossed that hopefully we might get it put into, the bracket with the big boys. But so The Fell We Climb, I got involved with that because of something I saw on social media.
Yeah.
Literally, somebody posted something up about an animation that they wanted to do that tells the story of some kids in Cumbria who from ethnic minority groups and their experiences and how they see themselves as being judged and the things that they bumped into. And they wanted to make an animation about it, telling these kids' story. And they didn't have the money yet. And they wanted to raise the money. And I was like, look, anything I can do to help, just give me a shout. And they got in touch and they were like, yeah, can you help us with our crowdfunder? Maybe help us with a bit of production on the animation. And threw myself at it. And here we are maybe a year and a half later and it's finished. And we're really, really proud of it. Yeah. And hopefully you're going to see it more and it's going to get used in lots of places.
No, and I love that. And essentially it's an animation, like you said, just kind of documenting.
Documenting
experiences with racism.
To give you a little bit behind it, it follows our hero, let's say, Amira, and she goes through an experience where she experiences some racism, and her dad kind of tells her, look, you've got to kind of ignore that and just follow your path and be a strong person and carry on. And she grows as a person, gets older, and does some influential things to help the next generation. But it through that story, it tells what some kids go through being black, being brown in this country.
And you use animation perhaps just to speak to, because adults enjoy animation, but so do children. Was that the thinking behind it?
Yeah, the thinking behind it was that we want young people to use it, young as 4, 3, 5. Do you know what I mean? And if you're going to resonate with that age group, as well as having parents and teachers and professionals use it as well, I think it's probably the best medium to cross all the boundaries. You look at your Pixar animations and things like that, you know, a small child can watch it and be moved by it, but then a 80-year-old can sit there and be like totally moved by it as well.
Yeah. One thing I think I get from you is just you're someone who, if something piques your interest, you're going for it.
Yeah, totally.
And I think we all have that in us, but then it gets kind of scared. We get scared out of that a little bit. And I just hope that this kind of shows people the incredible impact you can have by just being that bit curious and driven towards a goal.
I think that happens in school.
What, the getting scared bit?
Yeah. I think it happens in school. And I think, not to bash our teachers are great, but sometimes they feel that they haven't got the resources to give the children for the children to be able to do everything.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they haven't got the money, they haven't got this, they haven't got that. So they as teachers feel like, I'd love to be able to get you there, but I can't get you there. So automatically their language changes to, let's try this instead, or let's try this, or let's do it this way. And then you're already on that catch-22 situation of like, okay, by the time this child gets to 15, 16, they're going to think that this is all that they can do.
Yeah. We have so many questions from people that we want to ask you.
Yeah.
But before we jump into that, I'm going to selfishly ask a question first.
Go for it. Do it.
So have you ever been told or discouraged from doing something? Can you give me an example of that and how you overcame that? Just because, like you said, it's so common for people to kind of get that fear inside themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I've experienced it lots of times.
Have you?
Yeah.
You don't give that.
No, and I think being a black male, you have it even more.
Yeah.
I think
talk to me.
I think you'll experience it even more in that situation. So, just pick one. So dance.
The worst one. Okay.
Not even the worst one, just dance. So getting into dance is a very competitive industry anyway. So getting into any performing arts, you're going to be told, do you want to get into that? Because maybe only a couple of people out of 100 get to the good stuff and get the jobs and consistent work and things like that. So straight off, to go into that industry, I was like, okay. And I think even my parents were like, what are you doing? Don't you want to go and study to be a doctor or a nurse? I mean, you know, even our parents can be like not as supportive of some careers or some paths that our children take. And it's difficult to say to your child, okay, go down that route, when as a parent you may not know anything about that route. Can they make money down that route? I think now in this day and age, you can make a career out of anything. You can make a career out of train spotting. You can make a career out of playing computer games. You can make a career out of anything. So I don't think that is a viable excuse these days to say to a kid, no, you don't go down that route because you're not going to have a decent career out of it, because I think you can make anything out of anything these days. So, even then with dance, I was pushed in a different direction. My mum and dad said they wouldn't pay for me to go to dance college, because most dance and performing arts colleges, it's vocational, so you need to pay to go. And it's not like university where you can get a loan or anything like that. You kind of have to put the money on the table, or, you know, take a loan out yourself from the bank, and it's a whole different interest rate. Complicated stuff. Don't need to get into that. So I worked at the weekends to pay to put myself to go through performing arts college.
Wow, that's passion.
Yeah.
That's focus.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and what age was that?
That was 19.
So we're now going to move into our audience question. You may have heard a ping, guys, but that was just an idea coming to me, okay? So I'm super excited to be asking you these questions because I'm actually intrigued as well.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, born.
What are you not ready for, actually? I need to just start shocking you with some stuff. Okay, so All right, this is a fantastic one. So you were born and raised in London, North London. We've already made clear.
The North-South divide was visited before we started.
To West Indian parents. But that means that you were probably starting a career where there wasn't that much representation.
Yeah.
So what was that like, kind of trying to do something that you hadn't necessarily seen done before?
Yeah, I mean, I'd seen it done, but it was few and far between.
Okay.
So the people I'd seen on TV, your Trevor McDonald's, your Floella Benjamins, who was the TV presenter that I would have watched, the kids' TV presenter that I watched on Play School when I was a child. So yeah, I hadn't seen many people doing it, but for me and for a lot of Black and Asian people at the time, that was the reason to push forward. That was a reason to say, okay, well, we need more Black people doing that. We need more Asian people doing that. So we tried. It was like, I'm going to be the first. I'm going to be the person who sort of cracks that ceiling, that glass ceiling.
Of course, there were unique challenges you came up across. How did you handle them, and what were they?
The challenges. I think when you are a person like me, the challenge is that you have to be streets ahead of the competition. That because if you're not, then you're going to get pushed aside. Well, you would have been pushed aside back in the day.
Yeah.
I think it's changed a lot now. So unless you were better than the competition, you would fade into the background and maybe not get chosen. But if you're streaks ahead of the competition, there's nothing they can really say or do. So I think my parents drilled that into me. I think a lot of Black people were brought up that way in the 80s. So it was always about being better than the competition.
Did that, obviously it helped you, but did that also put a lot of perfectionism into your mindset and maybe sometimes hold you back or just make the weight too heavy?
Didn't ever make the weight too heavy for me. It awakened the competitive nature in me.
Okay. Which is always a benefit to a degree.
So it was helpful in that way.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Another question that I have is, you mentioned one time scrolling through your Instagram feed, and that's when you came across the animation team you ended up working with.
Yeah.
Is Instagram how you find your inspiration, or what are your sources of
Do you know what?
inspiration?
I think in the last 3 or 4 years, I would say that, a lot of inspiration has come through Instagram, because I think it exhibits or advertises so many different things in the world. Like we've already talked about seeing pottery and Lego on Instagram. I wouldn't have seen that if I wasn't surfing Instagram. I'm not going to see that on BBC One. I might, but I'd have to be kind of there, right time, right moment. Whereas with social media, you pick it up, it's already knowing what it's going to show you. It's like, okay, you're probably going to like this or this, and it's giving you that stuff. And whether I turn it on this morning or I turn it on tomorrow morning or tomorrow night, it's going to find that stuff and be like, here you go. This is what you need to see. So I find it quite interesting, and I like to learn and see new things on it. So yeah, I think it's quite a good resource. But that said, it's also a nasty place. But I think I've figured out how to navigate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, because we had someone on a podcast talking about, the bad side of social media, which is difficult to navigate as well. So it's one of those things. It's a double-edged sword, like anything, like media, like music, like whatever.
Thank you. You're so articulate. All right. So you have been quoted saying that no 2 days are the same, which means that you're constantly going to be up against new challenges or just new experiences. And my thing, do you have some sort of way of prepping for just getting ready for the new day and all that it holds?
I love the fact that no 2 days are the same. I couldn't do a job where it was the same every day. I love the change and the what that brings. I think I'm lucky in the fact that I am not scared to throw myself into something new. And I also think that no matter what we do, whether we are a doctor or a nurse or whatever we do, we work in the community sector, I think we have to take each day as it comes because we don't know what is around the corner. All we've got to do is look at 2020.
Yeah, honestly.
That's all we've got to do. So with that in mind, we have to just kind of take each day as it comes and be prepared for anything that might be thrown at us.
Yeah. I'm going to be selfish again and ask my question,
Go
but we
for it.
have asked the audience questions, and thank you for answering that. So your career has been over 17 years, or about 17?
My career's been even longer than that.
Ooh.
My career's been 24 years, something like
24
years.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Early 20s was my first TV show.
Okay.
And first theatre shows, and 45 now. So yeah, we're looking at 23 years, I would say.
23
roughly.
years. Oh, so just 6 years off.
Is it weird?
But with that much experience, what is your one top tip for living life as a creative?
I would say it would be to don't hold yourself back. It's us that hold ourselves back. No one holds us back. We hold ourselves back. People say things and then we think, oh, no, I can't do that. Or no, that's us holding ourselves back. It's not about what other people say. It's about what we believe in and going down that route. I've listened to somebody the other day and they said, I'll tell you who it was. It was Stan Lee.
Okay.
Stan Lee. I saw a video the other day about Stan Lee and Spider-Man. He took Spider-Man to his boss and his boss said, no, people don't like spiders. This character is not going to work. He's a teenager. He's got problems. Superheroes don't have problems. They're not teenagers. And spiders are going to scare people. Scrap it. Go and start another idea. So Stan Lee put it in the last episode of a comic that was dying. There was a comic book that was like, they're scrapping it. This is the last ever episode of this comic book. And he put Spider-Man in that episode. And they put it out. A week later or something, his boss came to him and said, oh, you know that character Spider-Man that we both really love? We need to make a whole series of it, blah, blah, blah. And he said the same thing. He's like, don't listen to anyone tell you no. If you believe it and you have a passion in it, there's probably someone else somewhere in the world who's going to believe it and have a passion in it as well. Keep going. You'll probably gravitate some way towards each other and the journey will change.
That is amazing. That is so... Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. I'm so happy I asked that question. Thank you for answering all the audience questions. We're going to jump into the quick fire round.
Oh.
Yeah. I love
this is where it gets serious. All right. Hold on. Let me sit up straight for this quick fire round.
Yes. Okay, good. I hope you're ready.
Yep. Ready.
Okay, cool. What's one place that is a guaranteed source of inspiration for you?
Would I say Instagram, social media?
Okay, what's a form of creativity you would like to try?
More music. I would like to do more instruments, but I just never have time.
Okay, what, rapping as well?
I know I used to rap in a band.
Oh, okay. Last time you ran out of ideas?
Oh, I don't think I ever have.
Oh, that is so cool. Another creator you look up to?
Jeremy Lynch.
A time you tried to be creative, but it didn't turn out the way you imagined?
That's a good one. Dadvengers.
Okay. You've achieved so many amazing moments. Which one is the most important to you?
I think Dadvengers right now. Again, just because of where I want it to go and what I want it to be.
And it will get there. Okay, and what is a creative tool you would choose to help you survive on a deserted island?
Oh. I mean, is it cheating to say Google?
You can't cheat. It's all right.
Because I'm like, yo, I need something on the island.
No Wi-Fi though, but yeah, you can have Google. Thank you so much. That's it. You done it. You did amazing.
Thank you very much.
I'm just gonna get everybody to clap for you because it was so
thank you very much for having me.
So good. I just want to thank you for coming on this show. You shared so many gems, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was brilliant. I'm inspired personally as well. No, really am, and I'm super excited for Dadvengers as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's enough of me celebrating you.
Thank you for my flowers.
We do want you to leave like a really strong message. Obviously, the name of the show is Creativity Is. So if I could get very smoothly this piece of paper, if you could just write what creativity is to you and just share it with us. Thank you.
Right,
we'll give you some time whilst I look into the camera lovingly. Right now, I'm looking into the camera lovingly. I'm very excited for this message. All right.
Done it.
Are you ready to share with the world?
I am ready to share with the world.
Please share with us.
Okay, creativity is a beautiful thing. Don't waste it.
Wow. That is amazing. And I believe you. I feel like your life is testament to that.
Yeah, it kind of is. I didn't realise until I came on here.
Oh, that's so cool. That's an amazing message. And we believe that too. So make sure you all participate in the January challenge. 31 days of fun, accessible, creative prompts where you get to express your creativity too. Because remember, it's a beautiful thing. You do not want to waste it. Make sure you join us on the next podcast where we meet another amazing, talented guest and just remind you why you should continue to be creative too. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.